to Wolfvision and welcome to the launch event, The Next Generation. I'm so glad you can join us today for the introduction of some great new products. We're full of excitement, looking forward to launch the next generation. Last year was a challenging year for all of us. Our daily lives have changed completely. Pretty much overnight, the way people are collaborating in meetings, the way teachers are teaching, and the way judges are holding trials has changed substantially. Very soon it became obvious that meeting environments, schools, universities, and courtrooms around the globe have to adapt to become hybrid. The demand for technology combining the in-room meeting experience paired with the option for people to seamlessly join remotely has gathered a massive momentum. Existing Wolfvision users have been well prepared. By simply changing the configuration of our Synap and Visualizer systems, the solution became hybrid, without additional costs or new hardware. We are very proud and happy that a large number of new customers last year have chosen our products to turn their facilities digital and hybrid. In spite of the sad and tragic worldwide situation in the current pandemic, the trust of those customers helped Wolfvision to achieve a very, very good result last year. In addition to the economic success of the last year, we have set a milestone in product development. The Synap and the Visualizer product families are lifted to the next generation. Our Visualizer platform has been completely redesigned to be ready for the demands of the next generation's environment. The first product that has been launched is the VZ-8.UHD, offering unique features such as native 4K, a touchscreen for preview and control, streaming, network TV ready, together with a robust, proven and long-lasting mechanical construction built to last. The Synap family has grown over the last years. We are happy to announce an amazing new product, the Synap Core Pro. The Synap Core Pro is the first product from the next generation to be launched. Andreas Ganahl, Product and Innovation Manager at Wolfvision, will give us a deeper insight now.
Welcome. Let me show you the new Synap Core Pro. We are proud to be able to show you the first member of our next generation Synap family, the Synap Core Pro. Looking back, we launched the original Synap Core as the second member of the Synap family back at the ISE show in 2018. Following this really successful launch of the Synap Core and V-Solution Matrix, we made significant improvements to it. We added new features like web conferencing with Teams and Zoom. We increased the output resolution to 4K, also for 4 different users to share their content on the screen. All these improvements were added free of charge, included with our regular firmware updates. With the new Synap Core, we continue to follow our policy of continuous improvement and support for our devices. In the case of the new Synap Core Pro, it will be introduced at the same price as the existing Synap Core, but with an additional HDMI input. We see, not just during these challenging COVID-19 times, but beyond also a significant trend towards streaming, recording and web conferencing. To combine all relevant multi-source content in these streams, recordings and also video conferences, we have added an HDMI input where any device such as a visualizer, a camera or an in-room PC can be easily connected to the Synap Core Pro. Later this year, it will also be possible to activate the lecture capture feature pack on the Synap Core Pro, which will then be able to record directly to the most common lecture capture services. Through 2020 and into 2021, the way we communicate, work and learn together has changed dramatically. And for this, now we include the Office 365 web application interface as a standard feature for the Synap Core Pro without any additional costs. This gives our users the possibility to convert any classroom, meeting room or courtroom into a high-performance hybrid room enabling everybody to collaborate and work together more easily than ever before. All these features and technologies must be as easy to use as possible. It should be intuitive. The new workflows deliver no advantage if users are struggling with the control of these features. At Wolfvision, we always focus on our user experience and maximum usability. Our Synap family is the perfect fit for all types of installation scenarios, from small huddle rooms, meeting rooms, up to larger spaces such as a lecture hall or a courtroom. All these different applications have unique needs when it comes to the user interface. Therefore, we have redesigned our UI, which is now customizable to suit the different needs of these applications. We have also integrated a completely new file browser into the Synap systems, which makes it even easier to access directly the files, no matter if they're stored on a cloud drive, on a network drive, or on a connected USB drive. So get ready for our next generation Synap Core Pro with all the features such as Bring Your Own Device, where you can share your mobile device screen with AirPlay, Chromecast and Miracast directly to the screen, but also with our own protocol, the vSolution Cast for Windows. Create your own content using the digital whiteboard or annotate on shown content on the screen. Access and show your files directly from cloud drives, network drives and USB drives. Connect to the web by using the integrated web browser of Synap Core Pro. Invite remote participant into your meeting, into your presentation by using Zoom, Teams or any kind of WebRTC-based web conferencing service. Collaborate easy with Synap Core Pro by using the Office 365 web application interface, which is now as a standard feature implemented. Later this year, use Synap Core Pro as a capture agent to record directly into the most common lecture capture services. When it comes to the integration of Synap Core Pro, it is simple and straightforward. The Synap Core Pro can be integrated in different networks with the 3 independent network interfaces. Use the USB ports to connect any kind of devices, such as touchscreens for control or webcams, microphones, USB speakers. Connect any HDMI device directly to the Synap Core Pro with its additional HDMI input. We are convinced that the new Synap Core Pro is the ideal all-in-one solution for your hybrid classroom, meeting room or courtroom. Stay tuned for more information.
The Synap Core Pro offers endless possibilities, especially in the times we are in, and is very future-proof. In the pandemic, the visualizer has shown its full strengths. There was a huge interest in the product to turn classrooms, courtrooms, meeting rooms in a hybrid approach. Thomas Zangerle, Product and Innovation Manager at Wolfvision, will show us now the next generation of visualizers.
Welcome! Let me show you the new VZ-8.UHD with HDBase-T. The VZ-8.UHD has had an impressive start since its launch last year, and the number of units sold is a valid proof of that. This next generation visualizer with its 4K camera is a benchmark for the entire industry. The touchscreen control and the preview monitor with its unique user interface delivers an unmatched user experience. The new and powerful mainboard platform is designed for simultaneous 4K recording and streaming, and this network TV-ready visualizer is perfectly suited for capture and distribution of content materials in outstanding quality. The robust mechanical construction will deliver long-lasting experiences. With the recent update, the VZ-8.UHD just got even better. An optional HDBase-T module built into the VZ-8.UHD can overcome the limitations of HDMI when it comes to maximum cable length. This can be an issue especially when talking about high-res, high-quality images with a frame rate of 60 frames per second. The new module complies to HDBase-T 2.0 and meets the requirements of our outstanding camera, enabling it to deliver 4K 60 signals over a 100-meter cable length. With projectors, displays and switcher scalers available, which are compatible with this standard, the new version of the VZ-8.UHD eliminates the need for third-party boxes. This reduces installation and maintenance costs and helps achieve a better total cost of ownership in the future. In addition, we also recently released a new firmware version for the new mainboard platform, built into the VZ-8.UHD series. There are two new features that I would like to highlight briefly. Firstly, we have introduced a new security mode that allows an administrator to configure the VZ-8.UHD for the needs of security-sensitive organizations, such as government institutions, courts, or the military, for instance, and prevent unwanted sharing of content over network or USB interfaces. And the new custom UI feature gives administrators the flexibility to customize the user interface according to the user needs and expectations. With this firmware update, you get the freedom of choice to create your own user interface and support your users in the best possible way. The new version of the VZ-8.UHD is available now. At Wolfvision, we always strive to offer a smooth user experience, no matter if this is a visualizer, a Synap device, or a comprehensive system of multiple devices. Being the host of a web meeting or offering distance learning in a hybrid classroom can be a challenge. Synap systems offer a general benefit: distraction-free meetings on a device built specifically for the purpose. Means no incoming emails, messages, or other stuff coming from your personal device will interrupt you. Efficient, hassle-free meetings or lessons without distractions will result in a much better output at the end. The redesigned vSolution app supports you in these ambitions. You can bring your own login credentials on your own personal device, for example a laptop, a tablet, or a smartphone, and instantly start a meeting. The responsive design maximizes the effective screen size, and the app does an outstanding job as a smart remote control guiding you through the lesson or meeting. There are various improvements coming with this new version, but one of the most important in terms of user experience is the addition of the waiting room control on Zoom and Microsoft Teams meetings. This will make the life of the host so much easier. And last but not least, the new app is now available for Windows, Mac, iOS and Android. Available during February in your preferred app store. Stay tuned for that. Another software tool I would like to highlight is our management tool, the vSolution Link Pro. This software enables easy management of all vSolution Synap family and Wolfvision visualizer systems across multiple locations. Now well established with hundreds of installations already worldwide, the focus with the recent update has been on making improvements around the usability for administrators as well as new features. Improvements like the updated search function, the export of the entire device list, or the auto-update and notification whenever there is a new version available of the software make the administrator's job much easier than before. This software was developed with and for administrators of Wolfvision products, and many features introduced are driven by projects and customers. With scheduled tasks, you can automate repetitive tasks and let the software do the job. And now you can also run a firmware update during the night by simply creating a scheduled task during the day. Simply, but effective. vSolution Link Pro software can be downloaded free of charge from the Wolfvision website.
To get the deeper insight how our products are being used in a hybrid environment, we are very happy to have Vizen Limbia from the University of Westminster with us today. Vizen will talk to Jonathan Owen, our system architect, about his experiences in the hybrid approach with our products.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. Thank you to Vizen for taking the time out to talk to us today. Welcome Vizen. I think if we could start by just talking about some of your experiences over the past 12 months. It's been a challenging year in higher education, trying to deliver a good experience for students with the restrictions that have been in place. So could you tell us about some of the challenges you faced?
Yeah, I mean, it's been challenging and interesting as well. And some of the teaching activities, we could very easily move them online. And we did that around March, April last year. However, certain type of teaching activities, particularly those of a practical nature, like lab sessions, are very difficult to move online. And even within the lab, we had to maintain social distancing. So a lab where we would normally have 50 students was now limited to only 15. We needed to find a solution which provided a great experience for students coming on site, but might be in a different lab than the tutor, as well as those viewing remotely. We also needed to record everything for on-demand viewing.
Okay, so you've used Synap in 3 of your lab spaces within the life sciences department. So you're delivering synchronous and asynchronous teaching, and you're mixing in hybrid all into the spaces, which is really incredible. So how have you achieved all this?
So we use a Synap in each lab. Each Synap had multiple sources. So we had the lectern PC, visualizer, microscope connected to it. We also have 2 network cameras, and Synap picks up the RTSP stream from each camera. We also use the wireless mirroring functionality of the Synap so that we could use mobile cameras from phones and tablets. So whether it's the students or staff, if they want to show something, they can just use their device and mirror it to the whole class. For students attending online, the university uses a system called Blackboard Collaborate, and we feed the HDMI out of the Synap into the Collaborate system so that those attending remotely have a similar experience to those on site. We also use the built-in Panopto recording functionality of the Synap for on-demand viewing. And one of the good function of the recording functionality is we can have very high bit rate, which gives us really high quality recordings.
Okay, so I understand with this project, so you had very tight timescales to come up with a solution and to integrate that ready for the start of the academic year in 2020. So why did you turn to Wolfvision? Why did you choose Synap for this project?
So I looked at alternative, and an alternative would mean we needed a dedicated AV over IP system, which we didn't have at the university in order to send content between the labs. And in order to use multiple cameras, multiple sources, we would have needed a video mixer for that. And to have wireless cameras, we would need cameras with wireless HDMI transmitters and receivers. So those would mean having a lot of different equipment to do the job, as well as having specialist staff to operate those equipment. And using Synap means we could have one device that would do all of this. So we have one device that can act as a mixer, an AV over IP system, as well as wireless cameras. And we chose Synap because that drastically reduces points of failures and really simplifies the installation. We already had Synap in our active learning classrooms, and we were very happy with the video quality, latency, and reliability. We also had very good support from Wolfvision in the past, and given that we were on a very limited time to design and implement the solution, we thought we could count on Wolfvision to support us, and they did work with my team, with the network team, and our AV integrator to get everything ready for the beginning of the academic year in September.
Right. And I guess that the true test for any technology is when the users come to the space for the first time, and students begin to use it. So what was your initial feedback from the users?
They were impressed. We had excellent feedback from staff and students. Staff could focus on the teaching without having to worry about the technology. And they were also quite happy that beyond the live session, they could just go into a lab and record a demonstration using multiple cameras, input sources like microscope, with minimal technical assistance. We also had great feedback from students. They could get a similar experience whether they are in the same lab as a tutor or whether they are in a different lab or at home. And multiple camera angle made the experience more immersive for students. In terms of training, generally people find the system easy to use. The life sciences department recruited some students to support the technology. And training them to use the Synap was really straightforward. Really the main training requirements was to get them to operate the multiple cameras.
Actually, you shared one of the training videos that was produced for this space. So you're actually using the Synap to record the training materials as well, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking ahead, obviously, it's been a remarkable 12 months. It's forced lots of change across education and all sectors in the workplace. So do you think hybrid solutions such as yours are here to stay in a post-COVID world? What do you predict for the future?
Yeah, I believe hybrid environment will still be used in a post-COVID world. And this is part of our consideration now when designing future learning spaces. Not only to allow students that cannot physically come on site to be able to attend the class live, but also potentially to increase the capacity of a class without the need of larger physical spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Well, it's been a great project to work with you on, Vissen. I think you've really pushed the technology in a really challenging environment, actually. And I think a lot of people can learn a lot from what you've done at Westminster. I hope you all found that really useful. Again, thank you to Vissen for taking the time to join us. We have got a full case study on our website, and if anyone's got any questions, then please get in touch, and we're happy to advise. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
It is obvious that schools and universities have a big demand for adopting hybrid teaching, combining in-classroom experience with remote learning students. However, this applies not only to universities. Courtrooms also have the same requirement. Next, Damien Biltris, our National Business Development Manager, will talk to Pat Schubert. Pat is the Director of IT and Facilities for the U.S. Federal Courts in Southern Alabama.
Thank you, Christian. Hello, everyone watching today. I'm very excited to be joined by Pat Schubert, Director of IT and Facilities at the U.S. District Courts, Southern District of Alabama. Pat, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Damien. I hope you're well.
I'm doing well. I'm so happy that you were able to join us. So there's no denying that 2020 was an extraordinary year and one that's going to remain on people's minds for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
What steps did the court take to ensure that the courtroom proceedings could take place through this pandemic? I mean, there's nothing, I don't think we've ever faced anything like it.
Correct. Yeah, so it literally changed the entire paradigm of, what court looks like, how we do court. We were probably in a better position than most other federal courts because we're in a new facility. All of our courtrooms already had full courtroom technology. That is to say, they had digital audio systems, digital video systems, the ability to do video evidence. They all had VTC connectivity. So we were in a good place as far as that goes. So what changed immediately for us with the onslaught of the pandemic was we had to then quickly transition from in-person hearings to video and audio only hearings.
So do you think this is going to be the model moving forward? Or do you think at some point we're going to get back to some sort of pre-pandemic state?
Okay, so yeah, that one is kind of a yes and no, and let me speak to that. I think that for trials, I'm pretty confident that eventually those will go back to purely in person. I think for non-trial hearings, I think we will continue to operate in a hybrid mode. I can guarantee you, like from the U.S. Marshals perspective, they're sure hoping that we'll keep doing the video stuff, for all of their contract lockup facilities, that they're hoping we do it forever because it saves them an awful lot of work and I'm sure a lot of money. They're not having to transport these folks around all over the place. So like from a judge's perspective, I'm sure they're thinking like for a trial, they're going to want it back the way it was where it's in person. For other hearings, I think everybody's used to, the hybrid model where, the people don't necessarily have to be in the room.
Right. And I was speaking to another court administrator at the state level recently, and they told me that one of the byproducts of the hybrid model is for these type of hearings is that they're being expedited.
Absolutely. And that's where I was headed next. So on the civil side, we do a lot of settlement conferences because the goal in a civil case is to try to get the parties to agree and settle it before you get too far down the road and spend a lot of money. So in federal court, or at least in our court, typically our magistrate judges are the ones who handle these settlement conferences. And so we got them on board early on about doing those by video. Well, they love it. And I think going forward, they're going to continue to do that because it's just so much easier. And many times in a civil case, none of the attorneys may be local. They may all be coming, from other cities or other states or whatever. And it's just so much easier to get everybody together that way than to try to schedule around travel and whatnot. So I said it's a yes and no answer. It really depends on what kind of a matter we're talking about. If it's a criminal trial, I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to want that to go back the old way to all in person. For just regular other criminal proceedings, I'm sure the hybrid model will continue to be used. On the civil side, particularly settlement conferences, I think our folks kind of prefer the video method.
It's probably just easier.
It is a whole lot easier. And again, the quicker you can get all the parties to sit down and work it out, and if you can get a settlement early on, you just save everybody a lot of time and a lot of money.
Right.
So a much better outcome.
So now you've spent some time with Synap.
Yep.
Can you tell our viewers what your overall thoughts or what the benefits that it may bring to a courtroom presentation and collaboration design are?
Absolutely. For a court that does not have anything other than, say, a sound system in their courtroom, it is literally a game changer. It is quite literally, courtroom in a box. because you can quickly, easily set that up with very, very, very little infrastructure needed. And you have all the full functionality of like what we have in our 6 courtrooms that were specifically built with all of that infrastructure in place. I'm sure if we were, looking at building a new courthouse now, I would definitely be looking at Synap, that type of a solution, because the biggest expense on courtroom technology installations is all the infrastructure that you have to put in place to make it happen. And this totally gets away from that. When y'all came down and demoed it to us, you remember there were some state court folks here also.
Yes.
To look at that, and man, their eyes got really big because they have no technology other than, a sound system. And
That's
so
right.
That's a really big deal for them. And there's a lot of other federal courts that maybe only have 1 or 2 of their courtrooms that have the full array of technology. And this is just a quick and much cheaper way to achieve the same end result. And you're not having to spend all that money on infrastructure. It's a really great product. As we continue to test it, we're learning new stuff about it. It's really cool. We have a divisional office in another city, and there's a courthouse there. It's a much smaller courthouse. It has 1 courtroom, and all it has is a really, really old sound system, like from the 1970s. So eventually we're going to take this Synap that we're playing with now here. We intend to put it there so that we can provide some courtroom technology. We don't use that courthouse all that often, but anytime when it is used, that's what everybody complains about, because they're used to having all that in our courtrooms here in Mobile. And so they have to go use that one. And they're like, well, it would have been nice if we could have shown some video evidence or this or that or whatever.
Well, now you can.
Now we will be able to. And again, the thing that was holding us up, putting the stuff up there, it's an old historic building, and it was the infrastructure, trying to figure out ways to get all that put in so that we could do it. So this definitely gets us around that point. But so far, we are very impressed with the Synap.
Fantastic. Well, Pat, I thank you for your time.
Well,
we hope to have you back, maybe sometime later this year for a full webinar.
That would be cool.
As we there's a few products that we have up our sleeves.
Yay.
That we will want to talk about.
Yep.
And once those are released and you've tested them, we definitely want to have you back on.
I would love to do that. I'm hoping that, before the year is out, we'll be able to have some in-person, seminars, conferences, et cetera. And
that's what we're hoping for. Well, we have, so far it looks like Infocom will happen in Orlando, and CTC in September will happen as well in Columbus,
Ohio. Yeah, I'm
right.
actually planning to be there. So I look forward to seeing you guys. We have, just a shameless plug for Wolfvision, we have used Wolfvision technology in one form or another, mostly a visualizer, I think y'all call it. we have used that for years, and I'm a believer in your good product. And so I know Synap is new, cutting edge, and we are very excited that we're helping to test that and put it through its paces. So it's my pleasure to share with you today. And it has been a very interesting year. And like you say, it's one for the record books. Nobody will ever forget that. And I think the good thing that will come out of it, at least in the federal judiciary, those courts that were kind of on the edge of, do we really need to go full bore technology? I think it made the decision for them. And
it did. Yeah, I think all those who were on the cusp realized that they needed technology in some fashion to get through this, and be prepared not just for a pandemic, but events happen.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yay.
Thank you again, Pat. And for those watching today, thank you again. We hope to be seeing you all soon.
It is always very encouraging and motivating to see how our products are helping our customers in their daily lives. As the pandemic doesn't allow that we can meet in person, we have prepared breakout rooms where you can join the people from your geographic region in a session now. The link is below. For those who are joining us through social media channels, please go to the website launch21.wolfvision.com to find the links. Thank you very much for joining us today. Stay safe and have a great day.